Hi Pisces, welcome to your message, what you need to hear. Not sure what I'm gonna call it yet. This is like the part 2 of what they're not telling you. It's what you also need to hear from them, or what you need to know, I guess. Anyway, still working on the title. Everything you need to know, or everything else, is in the description box below. I'm going to probably do that. I'm going to do the what they aren't telling you the first part of the month, and this is probably going to be the counterpart to it. Haven't figured it out yet. Still in the works. But that's what it's looking like. All right, Pisces. The moon, that's you or Cancer. This is things being unknown or hidden. Could be some deception or denial, or just being kept in the dark. Things aren't being illuminated. There might be a lot of confusion for this person. Two of Swords and the High Priestess. So these are both twos. Indecision, being at a stalemate, refusing maybe to see what is, just not engaging anymore, just, you know, that sort of seething indifference. And then we've got secrets, again with the sort of being secretive or mysterious. Not everything is being shared or told. Okay. Knight of Cups, Four of Cups, Nine of Wands, Queen of Wands, and Ace of Swords. All right. So we've got things being at a stalemate, and it's unknown what's going to happen. And for all intents and purposes, there's no forward movement, no communication, no anything. This is probably a breakup that has happened. It feels recent. It doesn't feel like this has been, you know, older than 3 months. So it's still kind of fresh. And, okay. Yeah, things are just not moving along here. There's a lot they want to say to you. They're like chomping at the bit to talk to you, but I think it's pride. I don't think they can because they're pride. And this is them. See, this is pride. They're not talking to you because of pride. So if you're waiting to hear from them, they're stuck. What they aren't going to tell you because of pride is they feel very strongly still for you. They probably want to offer you an apology, or they want to make it right. But there's a lot of history here, and there's still no movement. And there's someone's being strategic and secretive and probably trying to figure out what to do. And that could be what this is also, is just not knowing what to do, but they've got these feelings, but they're stuck. They're not talking to you because of pride, and they're being defensive as HE double hockey sticks. So perfect combination, right? Feelings, but being stuck and kind of aloof about it. It's pride. And they're not going to, this is, I really care, and I'm sorry, but I've got pride, and so I'm going to stand on principle, and I feel like part of me is right. And this is what Wands about. So I think they're trying to get out of they're not comfortable being in their feelings. So I think they're trying to be logical. They're trying to be decisive. They're trying to be clear. They're trying to be right. Honestly, Pisces, I think this is somebody that they really care. Well, I shouldn't say really care, but they have feelings. There's feelings there. They want things to progress, but they're not telling you because there's a stalemate because of their pride. And again, we have pride here. They're defending their stupid pride. And they're trying to reason and use logic and whatever, because they probably either feel vulnerable, they got their feelings hurt, and they're not taking it well. And this is no shade. I mean, we all deal with, you know, feelings how we are, but they're trying to be right. They're trying to keep it cerebral. They're trying to be logical. And it's one of those things where they keep wanting to argue the same point just to shoot holes in your argument, or just so they can come out and be right. It's really important for whoever this is to be right. If they aren't right or in control, it kind of is their undoing, which is probably why you're where you're at, because their pride's been hurt or their feelings been hurt, and they are having a real hard time moving past it. And here we have that pride again. So your advice is to get out there and move on, Pisces. Your advice is to move on. To cut it off, to end it, and to move on, to get out there, be like this Queen of Wands energy, and get out there and get after it. You're going to be spinning your wheels with this one, because they're very set and stuck in their ways, and they don't they have a hard time navigating their emotions. And so you're always going to be, it's always going to be a power struggle with them, because the minute they start to feel vulnerable or about their feelings, they're just going to want to tamp down on that control, and everything's going to be an argument or like a knife fight, you know. And it's like, whoa, I just wanted to go here for dinner, I just wanted to go do this, or I just wanted to do something different, and it's just going to be like this whole, oh my God, you've changed, what's going on? And you know what I mean? There's this like inherent mistrust. All right, what's this High Priestess about? Let's just make sure here. Ooh. All right. Last time I grabbed from water, I spilt it all over the place. Pardon me. Had to get some water there. So this is waiting. Perhaps you're both waiting for the other person to make the move, but I don't think so. I think they're waiting for you, and this is them not. I think they're having a really hard time with it because they're stuck, and they want that. It's like all they can do to sit and wait and not say anything. They want forward movement, but they're really having a tough time with staying still and not doing anything about it. So they're sitting here just basically kind of waiting. And the more impatient they get, the more sort of, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but quietly manipulative they get. It's like they're pulling back, and they're doing it in an effort. Gosh, I hate to say this. For you cross watchers, no shade. But it's almost like they're waiting to hear a response, right? They're waiting to hear something, but they're not initiating anything. And furthermore, unless it's kind of the response that they want, or all the attention is on them, they're going to be more secretive, more strategic, to try to get you to focus more on them, to have all of your attention on them. This is a huge power struggle. This is just somebody's either punishing, or this is about things being brought back to the way they were. And the advice is to get the hell out of there. You need to be among your kind. This is somebody that is, if you're still together, it feels like it's kind of stifling. It feels like someone's mad and they're punishing you. If you haven't talked, they're waiting for you to make the first move because they're stuck. Just saying. All right. So what else would they have to say to you? What else would they have? Here comes Cat. Just saying, you're just going to hear this meowing, meowing. Here it comes. Here it is. Yep. All right. What else would they say to Pisces? Oh, for the love of God. Sorry, Pisces. Mama. Sorry, Pisces. What else would they say to Pisces? Okay. Ooh. Again with the learning. That was in the last one. This is spreading. This is you spreading your wings, wanting to get out of there, because what they would have to say to you, it's almost like this is about them learning you. This is about figuring out what your thresholds are, or being strategic and finding out. Honestly, I feel like this is a power move. I really do. I feel like, Pisces, this is a power play. Someone's stuck and they're waiting for you to make the first move. And there's a stalemate now. Nobody's budging. You know? They're learning you, and they're learning what makes you tick, and they're learning. For some of you, it could be that they're starting to learn how to be without you, and maybe that's where this disconnect and disappointment is. But I feel like they're trying to, the learning here, they're trying to, in staying stuck, they keep revisiting and keep recirculating this, and it's almost like they're whipping it up to make it into something. It's not that something it isn't, but they're trying to keep it out of the emotions. So they keep logicalizing it, and they keep finding arguments around it. It's kind of like they're just sitting there spinning by themselves, because they don't have you to argue with. They don't have you to go back and forth with. You know what I mean? There's no communication. There's no forward movement. So when this says learning, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of learning you, or they're trying to learn another way to approach you about it, or another way to think about it, because I think them having their pride hurt is a real sore spot for them. So they might be trying to rationalize it another way, or trying to turn it into something it isn't. I know this is a weird take on learning, but it seems like they're just trying to make it something it isn't, so that they can be right. That's what it is. That's what it feels like. And I'm trying to say that in a nicer way, but there it is. Ouch. Unconditional love. Love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearance be. It kind of goes along with that other one that says, no matter what the situation is like now, remember that we love each other, or we loved each other once, or something like that. And this, to me, this is like that place you reach when you truly have let someone go. You're like, all right, well, it was what it was, and To each their own, and I wish you the best, and there we go. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. So I feel like you really need to get out there and get after it and do your own thing right now. I don't think that right now this situation is not for you. Somebody is really stuck, and if you engage with them, it's just gonna be bickering and arguing. It's just gonna be someone wanting that control back. They're really feeling out of sorts right now. So just, release them with unconditional love, and off you go, because there's nothing for you here right now, Pisces. They're stuck. Oh, this one jumped. This is someone falling further and further down a rabbit hole because they're believing their own stories, which that's what this right here feels like, right here. These. It feels like someone just keeps kind of machinating and going over with themselves, and since they don't have you to go back and forth with, they're just kind of whipping things up into this frenzy, and it's coming out more and more on their side, and they're right and you're wrong, and yeah. And just this whole, you know what I mean? It's completely devoid of any kind of emotional intelligence. And so that flew out. Just saying, that might be what's going on with your partner. Just saying, be careful. Right. That is looking back in hindsight. So you might be either, on a break or actually have broken up with this person, and somebody, probably them, maybe you too, that's why you're here, is looking at the past, and the past belongs in the past. So, your memories of it and all that might not be accurate just because of the emotional overlay of the memory, but at the end of the day, you can't go back and change it. It's in the past. It happened. Successes, failures, and regrets, they all belong in the past and they can't be changed, and moving on. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Go with God or source. Off you go. I release you. I'm getting out there. El fin. This is cutting things off. Cutting the cord. Literally, like cutting the connection. A new beginning. Just saying, Pisces. All right. So that is what I have for you, Pisces. I hope this was helpful. I wish you luck with this, and cross watchers, you too. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Can you see all that? Yeah, you can. Okay.